Hey, welcome back. For those of you who watched my last video all the way through to the end and got the little surprise at the end, don't tell anybody else what it was. If they don't want to watch it, they don't get to see it. Anyway, today on this one, I think I'm going to do some mountains. Only instead of just the black and white mountains like I usually do, I'm going to actually put a little color into them and see if I can't get a bit of a colorful mountain in there. And of course, if we're going to do mountains, I'm going to do them so that we have a bit of a planet behind them. So in this case, before I do it though, safety. So I'm trying to use up all these black gloves because I got them pretty cheap, and that's exactly what they are, is cheap. So there's the planet, and actually it's going to be a moon, so throw some white down in there. And then, of course, we're going to throw the black on top of that. Let the white eat it up. And gently move that. And wheels and deals. Nice absorbent paper. So, crumple that up, layer down, do a little bit of a swipe, maybe a little bit of a curvy swipe, who knows. Something different. Alright, let's see what happens. Ooh! It actually did. It gave a little bit of a curvy mountain range, or a valley, mountain, whatever you want to call it. But I want to take a little more of that black out of there, bring a little more of that white up. Alright, not too bad. I think I would have liked a little more of the white showing through, but that's okay. We can do it. We can deal with it. We have the technology. We can make them better. I have the clumsies. I can drop and knock things over with a heartbeat. Alright, so cover that back up. Make sure it's down pretty tight. And then we're going to, since it's going to be a mountain range, I'm going to bring it all the way down to here instead of stopping halfway. Then we're going to throw some stars in there. So do it the old-fashioned flicky way, so flicky. I'm actually getting pretty good at doing it this way, so I'm getting a lot more stars to come out when I do it. Boy, look at them stars. Alright. So there's that. There's that. Now we just let it dry for a minute. I think I'm actually going to, just because, why not? I'm going to do this. And you put this down when you use the straight edge to make the brighter stars. Hold it just above the paper. Don't put it right down directly on the paper, because you will see that very sharp straight edge. And as anybody who's looked up at night sky and looked at stars knows, you don't really see sharp edges unless there's something in the way. They have fuzzy outlines. So you want to hold that up a little bit so you get just a tad bit of overspray to make that little fuzzy line. But you still want a fairly straight line. But you don't want a sharp edge. And I'm not at the right angle for this, but I'll make do. Okay, close enough. That's pretty good. And I don't have it with me. Well, too bad. Maybe if I just aim, squint one eye, look cockeyed through the other one, maybe, just maybe, I can be off center by a little bit. That's all right. That's all right. We got it. All right. So, because I'm doing a mountain range and the planet's going to be in the background, we want to move this, so I'll go ahead and do the reveal now. So, ta-da! And I'm losing my mind is what I'm doing. We're going to add, like I said, we're going to put a little bit of color in there. So, I'm going to add a little bit of this pimento. And we're going to start out with this to do the outline of the mountain. And then fill that in with the pimento. And I just kind of flooded it a little bit. Whoops. So now we're going to have to wait just a minute. As it dries off a little bit, and then we're going to fill it in with the black. Well, and then we'll shadow it with the white. And we actually do want this to shadow out because we want it to look misty. So, then once we get done with that, and getting the lids put back on, well, that would explain why it wouldn't go on. Always make sure you put the right lids on the right cans, boys and girls. It'd be really bad if you came back later and went to spray that white on there and found out it was black. Probably wouldn't be good. Alright, so, like I said earlier, I still haven't gotten my plastic bags because I'm lazy. And yes, I know I'm lazy, I'm not going to deny it. So I'll just use paper. So when they ask paper or plastic, you can tell them he uses paper, at least this time. And the running commentary, just whatever pops into my head. So if something just makes you stop and go, what? Sorry. Had to get a little drink to wet my whistle. All right, so there's that. Nice. Wait for a minute. Let that dry just a bit. Try to get the lid off. And fail miserably the first time. And then alright, there's that one. Find my black. Spritz, spritz, spray the black over top of that. Make sure that we got that definite outline because we want the 3D effect, so we want to see the one mountain range definitely cutting across the other one. We don't want it to just kind of blend together into one continuous shape because then you don't get a 3D effect. All the fun stuff I've learned as I've been watching other videos and practicing on my own. It's awesome. And I'll say it once again. It is just that easy. To do the space scenes of planets and stuff, easy. 7-year-old can do it. 70-year-old can do it. I'm 56. I just turned 57. So I'm 57, and I just picked it up like a few months ago, and I've had a lot of people tell me that I do pretty good, so I guess I'm doing all right. And here I am doing mountains and everything else. Bye! You leaving? Thanks for stopping. Write us a letter from wherever you go to. The granddaughter's going for a walk. And of course I gotta pick on her. She's only 2.5, and I'm sure she doesn't understand anything of what that was. But she'll make me pay for it later. She'll come back and jump on me when I'm least expecting it. Give me a heart attack or something. Alright. And then make sure, so I'm going to go over this edge again. Make sure, give it a nice definite edge so that you can see it is definitely in front of the other one. And we got that little bit of a hazy outline from the white, which is good. We want that because most mountains, particularly the larger ones, have snow on them. So that hazy outline is just like blowing snow. And I see that this line wasn't defined too well, so we'll just come back in here and give her another quick shot. There. So there's our mountains, and they actually have some texture to it this time. Now I'm going to go through and put in a few lines, scrape a few lines in there for to even give it better 3D definition. So anywhere you look at this thing and you go, you know, that looks like that might be a little bit of a rock there, go through and scrape. Give it just a little bit of a scrape with the edge of your knife, just to give it a little bit of a definition. And the lighter you scrape, the thinner the line and the hazier it looks. And the harder you scrape, the more definite, the more defined the line. Okay, there we go. The more defined your line is going to be. And I don't know about others, I love this knife. This shape here, it's very versatile. So you got the sharp point to get straight edged lines in there when you need it. It's got the bigger flat edge here so you can scrape big, say, tree trunks. And I use this all the time to do my trees. And it's got a smaller one, so if you want to do like fan shape with it, you can just go and get a couple of fan shapes in there. So it's really nice. And I use it for almost exclusively for everything. Alright, the paint is starting to dry, so I'll hit it with a little bit of clear coat, soften it up some. Let it set for just a second so that it'll eat through some of that paint, and then see what happens. I put some of that clear coat down. Now all of a sudden I'm picking up all the paint. So if you don't want that, spray clear coat and then wait a couple of minutes. If you actually want to take off a lot of paint, hit it with clear coat, wait about 2 seconds, and then go right into it. So, well, that was quick. I wasn't expecting you to next week. I love the granddaughter. She is a hoot and a half. And for you young whippersnappers, that means she's just hilarious. She's awesome. I enjoy having her around, even though the reason for having her around isn't that great. I love her to death. And she is amazing at church. She is the loudest amen sayer we've got. Alright, so scrape a few lines in there just to kind of give it a little bit of a definition, give it a little character. Alright, like I said, anywhere you think there might be need for an edge, I want to kind of define this edge of this right here, this mountain. Alright, so now we've got a little bit of edge on there. We've got the mountain defined. The planet is kind of hazed out in the background from all the snow blowing off of the mountaintops. I have to itch my beard. Okay, now I'm going to have paint in my beard. Oh well, I'll wash it out later, I'm sure. Might take 2 or 3 tries, but I'll get her. Alright, so what are we going to do next? Do we want to do anything else with it? I'm thinking, and just because I do this and I always take a painting and go, it needs more. Just because, I don't know, I like to overdo things, I guess. I am going to take a little white paint and take just a little straight edge piece of cardboard that I ripped off the corner of this. And instead of actually using the straight edge, I'm actually going to use the ripped up edge. I'm going to dip it in my white paint. And I am going to do just a little bit of a waterfall there. And then I'm going to take a little bit of this black and there you are, straight edge. I don't want it to get too bad, so a little bit of black here. And then we're going to put that off to the side. Take a little bit of that red that I did earlier with the mountains because we want that red tint in there from it. And then finally, we're going to add just a little bit of white. Right in the middle. When I can actually aim and hit it. I look at it and I go, that looks good, and nope, way off. And then we're just going to go like this. And then make sure, watch the aiming, see if I can do this without killing it. Because you want just a little bit of a spray there, because waterfalls spray. They spritz, they splatter. So, trying to do this without really putting too much down, because it's just a smaller waterfall. I don't want a whole lot of overspray. And I also don't want it dripping down there and causing a big puddle. Uh-oh. Come on. Come on, white. Come on, white. Spritz on there, spritz on there, spritz on there. Okay. All right, I got a little bit of it. I'm going to stop right there before I really do overdo it and just mess it all up, because I've got that overspray. It looks pretty decent. And the final thing I want to do is this time I actually am going to use that straight edge, dip it in what little white paint's left here, and we're going to just give it a couple of ripples. Not too much there. We don't want to really kill it. I just want to give it a little bit of a character, just a little bit of a 3D effect. All right, and then the final step, and I'm actually getting better at actually remembering this step and not going 10 minutes later, hey, I forgot to do that. So we clear coat everything. Initials.
J-L-C. Wee.
24. Ding, ding, ding. And squiggle, because we gotta have a squiggle. And there we go. Mountain scene. A little bit of color in the mountains this time instead of just a whole black and white. And I've done a lot of black and white mountains and planets in the background. I think this is like the second one where I've actually added any kind of color to it. And I might go along and add just a little bit of snow here at the top. Because this one's not horrible. This one's like everything's gone off it. So I may actually add some more to that. But there we go. And now, since I hear somebody starting to cry, and as I'm trying to shoot my videos, the last 3, I've had somebody get in there. So, it is what it is. When you're in a neighborhood and you have very close neighbors You can't expect it to be quiet all the time, especially when you're trying to do something like this. And I see now that I just hit 20 minutes on this video. So, I'm going to cut you off, let you go. For those of you who watched till the very end, thank you very much. Your views are greatly appreciated. And I have hit 74 subscribers right now and 24,000 views. I'm thinking some people who are watching these may not be subscribing. Small click for you, huge deal for me. So if you could, please like, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff for me. I go out there and I try to like, share, subscribe on other people's videos. If you have a channel and you need more subscribers, in the message say, hey, this is my channel, come like me. And I will pop over there and I will subscribe to your channel, okay? So, before I get any more interruptions, I'll let you go. You have a great day. May God bless, and I will talk to you in the next one.